Say that over again, what you just
Okay,
said?
so right now I'm copying the footage onto like your computer,
Uh-huh.
but this isn't the last step. You will want to do. You have to do one more step to basically ingest the footage into an editable format. So like
Okay.
in Final Cut, there's one more step you have to do.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. But you want to copy everything, and the reason you have to is if you don't, Final Cut will not be able to open the files. Basically, you won't be able to see your footage. So
Okay.
you just want to copy everything. And this is when this gets done, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I just gotta let it copy first.
All right.
But this is like basically your source footage, and when we import it, what Final Cut will do is what I would do is I would back up everything. I would, if you have a way to back up stuff, make a copy somewhere onto like a different drive or something before you do anything in Final Cut, and then take the drive that you're like, okay, I'm going to edit from this drive, and then open Final Cut and start, the process of importing it, because it actually makes new files depending on your setting in Final Cut. Some of them, there's a setting that actually will delete the source footage after it converts it. So you'll still have the footage, but it's been converted, but you will have lost your source footage, and I don't like losing anything at all.
Right.
So just to be on the safe side, always make a backup of everything onto a different drive or something if you have the space.
Okay.
And that's just, I'm paranoid about
No,
it.
no, I've lost,
yeah, that's why it's
lost
just,
a lot of stuff.
yeah, it sucks to lose things. So
So actually, the whole thing is to get to film on the discs.
Mhm.
What do they call PC? What?
these are called P2 cards.
Okay, to get footage, to shoot on P2 cards, I changed this to, where is it, over here?
To P2, you have to
Yeah,
make sure
right here,
it's in P2 mode
P2
right here.
or tape.
You want it
right?
on P2, yeah.
Right. Then, if I want to see it on here, I press
When the
this.
camera's on, when the camera's
I push
on.
the camera on,
Yeah.
and then I press
Yeah,
this.
don't press it right now, it's
No,
just copying, but
press
like,
it 3
exactly.
seconds and it'll show
Well,
up.
No, you just press it once if you want to look at it on the camera.
Right.
If you want to mount these cards on the
Onto-
camera to the computer,
Right.
go into VTR mode and then press and hold it for about 2 seconds, and it will and have the USB plugged in, and it will mount to your computer.
Okay, then I
So
could
that-
just drag what's
Yes.
mounted to the computer right down to my timeline and start editing.
No.
Make a
You
folder.
make a folder. You want to copy, make a folder for each card,
Right.
and then copy the contents of each card
Uh-huh.
and do that folder. So like card 1, put that in there. Card 2, put that in there. And then when it's done
Copying.
right? So that means you'll have gotten everything on these
Everything.
cards onto
Onto
the computer or a drive or wherever you're putting it.
Right.
And then we can unmount all this stuff, and you can format those cards if you want, so just to get the space back and record the next thing, whatever you want to
Right.
do. But the next step from here, once it's on a drive,
Right.
open up Final Cut, and you do this thing. It's called log and transfer, and I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you that right now.
Okay.
So that's just one card. I'm going to go ahead and start copying that other card.
Okay.
Just so it's going. Let's look at this. Yeah. Okay. So I'm opening this up. Okay, it's already open. It's right here. And this is the card I didn't copy, so I'm going to start getting that going. So that way it's just going while we're punching this other stuff. Okay, but this is, so in here, so this is on the desktop. So like right now I made a folder on the desktop and called it source footage, card 2, and card 2 should be roughly like 7.67 gigabytes, so and that's what it is. So everything copied correctly, because that's what this card is. See, 7 points, and it won't be exactly, but 7.68. What is this? I'm hitting Command I to do that. That's 7.67. It's rough. It's mainly how many items do you have and all that stuff, but it should be pretty close. It's like 0.01 gigabyte off, but it's just P2 stores a little differently than what a computer does. So now we're going to actually import the footage. This is the next part that might be a little confusing. And the thing is, this is Final Cut 7 on here, so it might look a little different, but I think the process is pretty much the same. It's been the same for a while because this format's been around. So I'm going to open up Final Cut on this computer. Hopefully it opens. So far as this all.
Yeah.
Sorry if I get redundant.
No, that's all right.
I just like to be
It's all right to be redundant
Yeah.
too. Make me listen better.
Yeah, this camera's great, by the way. It's a little, you have to get used to the workflow, but once you get it, it's really nice. Like this thing, I know people that still shoot with them that do all kinds. It has a really good color space, and you can do. It's really great for green screening and that kind of stuff. If you like that stuff, or if you're doing regular videos, you have a lot of flexibility in color correction. because it has this thing called 3CCD, which captures like the 3 different spectrums instead of just like one kind of thing of light. It's like it divides it into 3, so you actually get the idea that you're getting more information in every frame, and you have more latitude, I guess, if you like to get into that stuff, or
Yeah,
if you just want to record it, it looks good too. So this is just a random project, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Remember that folder I made?
Yeah.
I'm gonna save this project in that folder that I made on the desktop. It might go a little slow as it's copying right now. And what do we call it? There it is, John Reno, Robert's wedding. Okay. I'm just gonna I'll make a folder and just call it project files. That's basically just your Final Cut project files, and I'll call it the same thing. You know, Robert's wedding. So I'm saving this as a project. I'm hitting enter. So now that's important because then the other thing is you want to, when you do this log and transfer, you'll want to set your system settings right here. Can you see this? It's system settings, and you want to set your like source folder, like your scratch disk and all this stuff right here. You want to set that to that folder that I just made. So I'm going to go set, and then go to desktop, and I'm going to switch to this mode right here. It's just easier for me to navigate. And scroll down. There's John Reno, Robert's wedding. Choose. And that's the most important one right there. Is this top one? Because that's where the footage will go when we do log in.
And then put it to what, set?
Yeah, you just hit set, and then and then
Like on this side.
I just made it on the desktop right here. Remember that folder, the original folder on the desktop I made?
Right, okay.
And then go down to it. There's a lot of folders on this desktop. It's
Okay.
kind of messy. And then go to that folder that I made, John Reno, Robert's wedding, and hit choose. And what it does is it makes this folder, I already did this, so it already came up. It makes audio original files and capture scratch, and then hit choose. And then, but I would do it for all of these. So waveform cache, thumbnail cache, autosave vault. Same thing. Desktop, so I hit set for the, I think, waveform cache, and there it is. John Reno's wedding, choose. And you can see it right here. See, like it's putting the path name to it right there. So thumbnail cache, set, desktop, John Reno's wedding, choose. There's a lot of autosave, and autosave is important. Desktop, where's that? There we go, choose. Okay, they're all set, so I hit OK. All right, so so I'm going to try to do it without mounting both cards. Because you had both these plugged in, correct, when you filmed this? You remember?
Did I have both cards?
Yeah, like plugged in while you were filming.
You know what? It was.
They were probably.
I was filming on tape, but this was set on the cards.
Okay, so it probably recorded everything.
Yeah, it
on the
recorded
cards.
everything on both.
So when you have both cards plugged in
Uh-huh.
and you record continuously, what happens is when one of the cards fills up, it actually flows over to the other card. But what that does is if you're on like a take and it goes over, it actually splits that file into 2 pieces. So you have to mount them a certain way within Final Cut. But you can still mount the card if you only have like one of the cards. But because right now we're waiting for this other card to copy. See, we got like 4 minutes left. I'm going to see if I can mount just that second card to show you the process. But when that other card gets mounted, so like that one file, we might have to do something different. But this process, works pretty much the same way, even if you have the file divided in half. Because even if that's the case, you can still import that file, but it might not be the full take, like the way you recorded it. One way to get, if you don't want it, if that sounds really confusing, a way to get around that is to take one of the cards out and only record one card at a time. And this process is identical then, because when it fills up, it just stops and it goes, okay, put a new card in. But okay, so if you want, you probably want to see this. So I made the project and everything, saved it. We have all our system settings right here, all that stuff I did remember, set, and then make it all go to that folder. So this is the next step. You go to File, Log and Transfer, and click. Okay. All right. This looks really intimidating. It's pretty simple. See, it's already like detecting some stuff. But let's eject all this because I think it's trying to mount it from the camera, and we don't want that. We want to mount it from those files I copied. So I'm going to eject this footage. Okay. Well, let me try this again. Here, let's do this. Let's finish. Let me wait till this is done copying, and then we'll undock the camera because we want to make sure we're going to import from the computer, not from the camera.
Okay.
So I'm going to click that. But that's one thing you could possibly do, is if you just wanted to import it, you could just open it up and mount the camera. But I'm just trying to show you the process I do so that it's
I mean, I
consistent.
could just take it right from the camera?
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's an
No,
option.
I'm gonna, but what is that, what's that
You
easiest
may-
option right now? If I just want to take it from the camera and put it right on my, in here, and then just drag it to here?
The reason why I'm doing this part right
No,
here.
I want you to do that part, but I
Yeah,
just,
yeah. If you, let's say you're on a shoot and
Right.
you need to like roll the cards through really quick, and
Right.
like you have a camera guy shooting, and all you need is just to import the footage really quick, and you don't care about the P2 source footage. You don't want to archive it or anything.
Right, right.
It just speeds up the process, so you don't have to spend like this
Right.
time copying.
Right.
But you lose. But the thing is, if the camera guy, like when he formats it, you don't have that P2 stuff anymore. So the reason I'm doing this is because that way you know for certain you have all the footage. Because like if you don't want to keep the P2 stuff, you can delete that later.
Right.
But I'm always like, let's just get it onto a safe place first, and then when you delete these cards, if you want to shoot, something the next day, you know that this stuff is safely somewhere, and you just need to when you get around to having time to import it into Final Cut, that's when you do it. But
Right.
that's why I do it this way. So.
that's good. And the other way?
And the other way is you can just import it straight from the card. So like when I went to file, log and transfer, it's detecting right now that, oh, the camera's mounted and it has P2 information. So I didn't actually have to tell it where the stuff is because
Right.
it already knows the camera's hooked up.
So I can drag it right
so
from
then
there?
what you would do from here, and I'm not going to do it because it will take
Right,
time, but
okay.
you actually highlight everything. So
Right.
you hold shift
Right.
and then click.
And then just
And then
drag
you
it?
you hit add selection to queue, and it automatically starts going, and I'll show you where it puts everything, but that's really it. And
Okay.
you remember that thing I told you about system settings,
Uh-huh.
set, and then John Reno Roberts
Right,
wedding,
right,
that
right.
folder. What it's going to do, so I'm using the little command tab to do this. I'm going to the Finder, so in here, John Reno Roberts wedding, capture scratch. It'll make a folder in here, and that's where that P2 information, all the transcoded footage will go into here.
Oh,
It's not doing it yet
No.
because we haven't done anything, but that's where it's going to go.
That's where it's gonna go.
Right, that's why it's important to set that, because if you had this somewhere else on your drive, you will be like, oh, where'd it go? I
Right.
just hit add to queue, and it converted. So what happened to it? But this is where it will end up.
Okay.
Okay, we're almost done copying, actually, so we'll have both cards. Okay, so we're done copying. So in here, so John Reno Roberts wedding, source footage, card 1, and you can actually maybe put source footage dash P2 cards or something.
Right.
So here, I'll just do this. P2 cards, so you know what kind of source footage it is. So that's all I did there. And then card 1, I click that and then hit Command I, and it pops up this little window. And this is the card we were just copying. Command I.
Erase it?
No, I'm just seeing making sure we copied everything. So 15.72, that's good. That means we copied everything correctly. So I'm gonna close all this, and I'm actually gonna hide Final Cut here, Command H, and I'm going to unmount that other drive. So like both cards, I'm unmounting them. So now on the camera, what we can do is we can unplug.
They're both empty now.
Yeah, well, no, the footage is still on here, and you can delete it using the camera if you want. And I can show you how to do that real quick. But I'm just unmounting the camera so we no longer have all this stuff detected. And so it says USB disconnect. How do you get out? I don't know if you can. I think you just got to turn the camera off, turn it back on. So right now everything is disconnected. So I'm turning the camera off. Okay. And then I'm gonna turn it back on.
Okay.
And it just boots up like normal.
Right.
And then if you want to go to VTR mode, you hit that. Remember?
Uh-huh.
Hit that. And the footage is still on the card. So if you want to delete it, I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you